Hello, this is Suzanne Ducharme, pediatric speech language pathologist and author of the newly published book, Childhood Speech and Language Disorders. Welcome to the latest in my video series of chapter overviews that provide you with just a little bit of a taste of what's in each chapter of the book. And this is the last in the series that covers chapter 10, which is Lessons I've Learned. And this is one of my favorite chapters in the whole book. I'm certainly proud of all of the chapters, but this particular chapter I consider to be a love letter to all of the children and families who have been a part of my clinical experience in the last 23 years. This chapter includes a lot of the little nuggets of wisdom that I have learned from watching kids and families and working with people from all different countries, from different walks of life, from different socioeconomic levels. There's so many things that are universal about this journey for parents, and there's so many things that are unique. And this chapter has some of my favorite things that I've learned as a clinician that are not part of your medical training or the residency or the national exam or any of those things that you have to do to become a speech and language pathologist, but it's definitely part of what has informed my practice. And so I'd like to share just a couple with you right now. One of them that I think is most important is that relationships are key. And this is true on a couple of different levels. One is that all language and communication is based in relationship. Starting from the time that your precious child is born, they are communicating with you. And that process of building a relationship and bonding with them is what lays the groundwork for communication to develop. But it also applies to your relationships with your physicians, your therapists, your child's teachers. And I have learned over time that no matter how skilled a clinician I am or another therapist is, it's only part of the equation. And if your child doesn't have a good relationship, a good bond with whoever that person is, their progress will be impacted. And so it's really important when you're evaluating a therapist or interviewing a therapist or considering how things are going with your therapist that you think about the relationship that you have and that your child has with that particular person, because that bond, that relationship is just as important as the technical and clinical skill. The second nugget that I've learned over time is that every child has an X factor that can't be accommodated for or quantified in any amount of testing or assessment or measurement that is done, in order to standardize their deficits. And I have seen over and over again that the progress that a child makes and the way that they move through life is so much more than their test scores. And I have seen kids who have relatively what are considered mild deficits who really struggle. And I have seen so many times kids who were told parents were told their child had a catastrophic injury, or there was no expectation that they would walk or talk or do, lots of things. And I have seen kids so many times far surpass those expectations with, love and lots of support and intervention. So nothing is ever guaranteed, but it's important not to let the diagnosis drive everything, or the outline of the deficits drive everything about your beliefs about your child. And the third one that I really want to share with you is that progress doesn't happen in a linear way. For most kids who have challenges, developmental challenges, they don't make progress the way normal development happens, which is that there's this steady incline of skills, and very rarely is there sort of a stop. For most kids who have any kind of communication issue or developmental issue, they progress in a more stair-step fashion, which means that they're stable for a long period of time, they kind of plateau, and then they have a big jump, and then they're stable and they plateau again. And so there's these long gaps in between their jumps in development. And it can look like you're not going anywhere. And it can even sometimes look like they're going backward because right before they have that big jump, they kind of fall apart. They kind of regress a little bit. And so it's really important to understand and to watch for the signs that those stair steps are coming instead of just feeling disappointed that progress isn't happening in a linear way. So I'll do some more videos on each of the nuggets because there's a lot there. But I hope that you will consider purchasing the book because I think there's a lot of great information for parents in here, especially in the second half of the book that's dedicated to you and to your process. You can click on the link below to order the book, and as a member of my community, you are entitled to a 30% discount if you order from the publisher. You can also click on the link on the site to send me a question or comment directly. And you can also sign up to be a part of my community and have access to more videos and more content, that am so looking forward to sharing with you. So thank you so much for being a part of my community, for watching these videos, and for having interest in the book. I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks.